If your girlfriend is close to other men, do this immediately. The moment you notice your girlfriend getting close to other men, something tightens in your chest. It might be a late-night text you weren't meant to see, a laugh that lasts a little too long, a comfort level that feels too familiar, or the way her energy softens around someone who isn't you. Your mind starts racing. Your body goes on alert. And almost every man in that position feels the same urgent pressure. Do something. Fix it. Control it. Stop it. That urgency is exactly where most men go wrong. If your girlfriend is close to other men, the first thing you must do is not react from the panic. The first thing you must do is create enough internal space to respond instead of explode. Because the way you handle this moment will either protect the relationship or quietly destroy the respect that still exists inside it. Most men move too fast. They start questioning. They start accusing. They start checking phones, monitoring social media, demanding explanations, or trying to set sudden rigid rules. On the surface it looks like they are protecting the relationship. Underneath, they are broadcasting insecurity. And insecurity, once it becomes the dominant energy, changes how a woman experiences you. A woman does not feel safer when the man she is with becomes controlling. She feels watched. She feels managed. She feels the shift from partnership into ownership. And that shift is one of the fastest ways to make her emotional distance grow even larger. So the first move is not external. It is internal. You stop. You breathe. You refuse to let the first wave of jealousy dictate your next 10 actions. This is not passivity. This is leadership over your own nervous system. Because a man who cannot regulate himself in the face of discomfort will eventually try to regulate her instead, and that never ends well. Once you have created even a small amount of calm, the next step is honest observation without distortion. Look at the actual pattern, not the story your fear is writing. Is the closeness casual and open or secretive and defended? Does she include you in her social world, or does she create private emotional spaces with other men that you are not part of? Does she reassure you when you express discomfort, or does she dismiss, minimize, or turn the conversation back onto your insecurity? These distinctions matter. Not every friendship is a threat. Not every conversation is emotional betrayal. But consistent emotional prioritization of other men, secrecy, or refusal to consider your feelings are not neutral. They are information. The third step is the conversation most men either avoid or handle poorly. You speak directly, calmly, and without accusation. You do not open with, "You are too close to him." You open with the impact on you. Something closer to. When I see the closeness between you and other men, it creates insecurity and distance in me. I need us to talk about what healthy boundaries look like so I can feel secure in this relationship. Notice the difference. One version attacks. The other owns the internal experience and invites collaboration. A woman who values the relationship will usually lean in when the approach is regulated and respectful. A woman who does not value it, or who is already emotionally elsewhere, will often become defensive, dismissive, or turn the focus onto your overthinking. Her response is more important than your delivery. The conversation is a test of whether mutual care still exists. If she can hear your concern without making you the problem, there is still relational material to work with. If every expression of your discomfort is met with resistance, gaslighting, or emotional withdrawal, you are receiving clear data about the current state of the bond. While this is happening, you must simultaneously do the work that most men skip. You return attention to your own life. You strengthen your friendships. You deepen your work, your health, your purpose, your internal world. You become a man whose emotional center is not located entirely inside the relationship. This is not a game. It is the restoration of self-respect. A man who has no life outside the relationship has no leverage and no peace. His entire nervous system is wired to her responses. Every delayed text becomes a threat. Every friendly interaction she has with another man becomes evidence of impending loss. That level of dependency is felt. And it is rarely attractive. When you rebuild your own ground, something shifts. You stop needing constant reassurance because your worth is no longer being measured solely by her attention. You become capable of setting a boundary without collapsing if she does not like it. You become capable of walking away if the relationship consistently costs you your peace. That capacity changes the dynamic more than any amount of pleading or monitoring ever could. Boundaries, when they are real, are not punishments. They are statements of what you can and cannot live with. A clear boundary might sound like, I need emotional transparency and prioritization in this relationship. If closeness with other men continues in a way that leaves me feeling secondary, I will have to reconsider how much of myself I can keep investing here. Then you follow through with your own behavior. You do not issue threats you will not keep. You do not create rules you cannot enforce. You simply align your actions with your standards. Many men discover at this stage that the real issue was never only the other men. The real issue was the slow erosion of mutual prioritization, the gradual acceptance of feeling less important, the quiet bargain they made with their own discomfort. Once they stop making that bargain, the relationship either improves or reveals itself more clearly. If she responds to your regulated honesty and clear standards by moving closer, by offering reassurance, by adjusting behavior, and by showing that your peace matters to her, then the closeness with other men becomes workable. Friendships can exist inside a secure relationship when both people protect the primary bond. If she responds by doubling down, by accusing you of control, by increasing secrecy, or by making you feel guilty for having needs, then you have learned something essential. You have learned that the relationship, in its current form, cannot give you the safety you require. In that case, the final and most difficult step is choosing yourself. Not in anger, not in revenge, in clarity. You stop abandoning your own nervous system for the sake of keeping a connection that keeps you activated and unsure. This is the path most men avoid because it requires two uncomfortable capacities at once: the ability to stay calm under emotional threat, and the willingness to lose the relationship if it cannot become safe. Both are forms of strength. Both are rarer than people admit. If your girlfriend is close to other men, do not start by trying to remove the other men. Start by becoming the kind of man who does not abandon himself. Regulate first. Observe clearly. Speak honestly. Rebuild your own life. Set standards you are prepared to live by. Then watch what the relationship does in response. The men who handle this well are not the ones who never feel jealousy. They are the ones who refuse to let jealousy turn them into someone they do not respect. They protect the relationship when it can still be protected, and they protect themselves when it cannot. That is the immediate work. Everything else follows from it.